Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a breakdown of basically the cards that are apparently leaked for Foot Birthday. Now, I wanted to talk about these cards because I know that you guys enjoy these types of videos. That's why in the thumbnail, I have just the card creation thing. Everything is blank. And then in the actual video, we have the players that it could potentially be, because I know some of you guys actually don't want it to be leaked for you guys because you want it to be a surprise, right? So that's why we did that for the thumbnail. But in the video, if you're in it, I'm sorry, okay? Just look away quickly, okay? But guys, listen, man, they have a lot of very good selections here. I think every single player that's here is a good player to select for their own reasons, right? We're going to get started here with the Suarez card, right? So with Suarez, again, these are not the official stats, but these are the leaked players. Like, this is the list that I actually saw from one of the tweets where it actually listed every single individual player. So if these are the actual guys, then we have something to work with, right? So guys, with Luis Suarez, there is potential with this card, because if we take a look at his Rule Breakers version, I did actually review this card, but he was missing a few things here and there for him to be really good for the meta of the game, right? So obviously, if you were to give him an engine chemistry style, which for me is the chemistry style that you have to give him, he still feels like he needed base card stats being improved in the pace department, the dribbling department, shooting needed to be increased by quite a bit as well. If this card for the Foot Birthday is increased for base card stats on pace to a certain point, then I could totally see people giving him the finisher chemistry style, because you know that they're going to be boosting these dribbling stats as well as the shooting, right? So it really just depends on how they format it. The way that this image is, it's a little bit concerning, because it's one of those things where it's like, it's a card where you're going to feel like you're going to be missing something if you give one thing over the other, right? So really hope that if I were to give him an engine chemistry style, the base card stats for shooting is in a very good area. Because with Suarez, guys, there's a little bit of a variable, right? Because I remember completely that he has that outside foot shot trait, and that is going to be awesome to work with in his case if he gets those 5-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot, right? So could definitely be very good. He has the high medium work rate. He has the unique body type. It's just a matter of how the card is formatted for base card stats in that shooting department for me to give him that engine, right? So very important stuff there. Next up we have is the Firmino card. Firmino is going to be a sick card if done properly, because the thing about the Firmino card is that the way that you use him, right, is going to be, you know, as your attacking oriented center mid, because guys, take a look at his stats, right? He has a 5-star weak foot, a 5-star skill move. That's absolutely brilliant. You could totally use a card like this in the side positions as well, because if they do improve his dribbling to be at a 95 for base card stats, that's what the Hunter chemistry style could look really good, because the only version of a card that he has right now is this one right here, right? On a Hunter chemistry style, you can see that the card is actually formatted really nicely with the shooting stats, but it's just the base dribbling that's in the high or mid 80s right now that needs to be improved even more for you to use him in that position. Because if you guys remember, Firmino also has the high work rates. In the attacking positions, I see him being a really solid physical type striker if done properly, right? The fact that he has the 5-star skills, the 5-star weak foot, that's brilliant, because it means that the card will be versatile. You could probably play him in a little bit of different positions, right? Even if you wanted to play him as a lamb or ram, he can actually play those areas too, left mid, right mid. It just depends on how they format him with the pace, because base card stats or pace on Firmino is the thing that's low, right? So that's the main thing that needs to be improved. This one is very exciting, because the next one is going to be for Paulo Dybala, okay? If Paulo Dybala is actually a card, Dybala is going to be crazy, especially if they upgrade the weak foot and the skill moves. I think the most exciting players here for the FIFA community in general is going to be Dybala and Fekir, just because they're like foot monsters. But Dybala, guys, in the beginning of the year, right? And I'm going to show you guys something which is very interesting, because it was from the rare gold card. So I'm really hoping that they do a good job with the Foot Birthday card, right? But on the rare gold card, or even just the man of the match, you can see that he has a medium work rate. Reactions at an 81, which isn't necessarily a big deal. And just for certain situations, it can be, obviously, with low composure. But it's really important that his dribbling stats is as high as it is, because with this card, depending on how they format the pace for the Foot Birthday, if you were to give him a Hawk chemistry style, you'll be looking at very good shooting stats with decent physical capabilities and good pace. But most people are probably going to give him the Hunter chemistry style, which is really nice because, again, if base card stats are increased in that area, with the dribbling also being increased, with the concept, right, of him having a 5-star weak foot, which would be absolutely crazy, probably be one of the best cards in the game in the attack, with, you know, a 4-star for skill move, which he currently has right now, that would be incredible. But could you imagine, right, like I think it was last year's card, where they actually gave him a high, was it a high medium work rate? I think that's what it was. It was like a, it wasn't a Moments. I think it was like a footies card where when they gave him that work rate, I remember correctly, he was nuts. Like the work rate was perfect for him because he's already originally playing in the middle position. So if that's the work rate change that they do, that could be insane. But here's the thing though, guys, is that Dybala's medium work rates for his rare gold card, and to be fair, this was a while ago, okay? So it's a little bit different now with the patches and stuff, right? But his medium work rate wasn't that bad. So this card has a ton of potential. Why? Because he also has the shooting traits. He has the finesse shot traits and the outside foot shot trait. So I really feel like him and Fekir are going to be the top 2 cards. That's my prediction if they actually release for Footbin, because that would be absolutely wild, right? Next card, Fekir. You guys know, Foot Legend. A lot of people did his SBC when that card came out. One of the most valuable SBCs that was released in FIFA this year. 85k is absolutely disgusting for what this card actually offers in game, because with Fekir, guys, his stocky body type, you obviously notice, but it actually kind of benefits him in certain areas. And with this card being improved in those areas, right, for dribbling, shooting, and pace, you could potentially give him either a Hunter chemistry style or a Hawk. For that foot birthday on this card, it was no question, without a doubt, a Hunter chemistry style. But on that card, with a Hawk, he could be a monster with the specific changes that are done to the card, right? So if he actually gets that 4-star weak foot, which he already has, right? But it's that 5-star skill move for certain areas of the pitch, that's amazing because, again, Fekir also has the meta shooting traits, right? He has the outside foot shot trait. He has a finesse shot trait. So that's amazing. This is another card, actually, that's very interesting. The Grealish card, because, guys, I don't know if you guys used the Grealish card in the beginning of the year. He wasn't amazing. I'm not going to say he was an amazing card because he wasn't, right? But he was actually pretty decent. Like, he actually surprised me because I thought he was going to be awful and he wasn't, right? So there's a lot of potential for a card like this, because I'll show you guys this right now, right? So if we take a look at the OTW card, the thing that you notice for base card stats is low reactions, but they can improve the agility and bounce to be at like a 92 area. But the thing about Grealish, guys, right, is that he has the unique body type, right? Unique body type. On this concept right here, he's got 5-star weak foot, right? 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills, which is already what he currently has. If they improve the pace to be at a certain point, and he actually does have the 91 for pace on the card, you can actually potentially give him a Hawk chemistry style while actually being able to dribble quickly with the card, because he has that unique body type with the 5'11" height. Does he have traits? He has technical dribbler, playmaker, and flair. So I feel like sometimes the CPU traits, sometimes it allows you to kind of play a specific way with these cards, like animation choices wise. So we're going to see, man, if he actually does end up coming out, it's a very, very interesting card because of the dynamics around him, right? Just like every other card here. It's very, very cool. The next one that we have here is going to be, I keep pressing the wrong one here. The next one that we have is the Odegaard card. So Odegaard, if this is like the base card stats that we're working with, he needs to have a Hunter chemistry style, right? So if you were to give him a Hunter chemistry style, he drastically needs that if his dribbling actually ends up being a 92. Odegaard does not have a card this year, so for Arsenal fans, that's already a W, right? He already has the 5-star skill moves, but obviously for the meta of the game, the 2-star weak foot is low. But look at how this card is formatted yet again, right? So his dribbling, guys, is low reactions, low composure, right? But the main ones for ball control, dribbling, agility, and bounce is really high, right? 5'10" height, and he has a lean body type. It's really interesting how they're avoiding the average body type players for a really good promo like this, which is amazing because average body type is not usually ideal for most of the cards in the game, even with the improvements that you give them. So the fact that he's a 5'10" height, which is a great height in FIFA, he's got that lean body type, you could potentially give him the Hunter chemistry style with 5-star skills, 5-star weak foot. This card would be a ton of fun to use because he even has the high medium work rate too. So right off the bat, if this is the actual team, this whole first row is really cool for their own ways. I would say that 4 of them at the very least are really good cards to use in the meta of the game, like really good, like not like good but really good, like Dybala and Fekir, you know what I'm saying? But the rest we definitely have to give a shot because they look incredible, but we'll see how they play, obviously. Next one's going to be Ndidi's card. Ndidi, I do think, guys, is going to be a really, really sick CDM because that is the main purpose of using a card like this, right? So the fact that he could potentially get the 5-star skill moves is awesome, but the 4-star weak foot that he already currently has is great. So with this card, from the prediction of the stats, right? Because the stats are not official. You can see over here. He has 83 for pace, right? 83 for pace is not bad because if you take a look at his acceleration and sprint speed in game, my prediction is if they actually end up making this card is that he's going to be like a, I would say like an 81 or 80 to an 83. That's like where I'm kind of thinking his pace is going to be at. And that pace is not terrible to have as a person who is solely playing as your CDM, more specifically in like a 4-1-2-2 as a lone CDM, because guys, the fact that he has the weak foot, his physical is really, really nice, okay? Really nice, because he has no card this year, right? On this version of the card, with the potential improvements, they gave him an 88 for physical. So if they really boost that physical, the strength parts, the aggression part, and he gets the right pace, yeah, for the meta of the game, the pace is not going to be crazy, but I can see him being that brick wall if you're using a formation like the 4-1-2-2, right? So good stuff there as well. Next up we have is the Guerreiro card. Guerreiro, the reason he's an interesting one, right? Because if you actually look, his physical is quite low for the prediction. So let's see if we can actually get his card here. So Guerreiro, left back card, doesn't have any variation of a card this year. He's the one that I would say is a little bit less, or he's more underwhelming because his card is formatted very strangely, right? So with this card, guys, if you look at his base stuff, he has 84 acceleration, 67 for sprint speed, right? So let's say, for instance, you know, depending on how they actually format the pace and how they upgrade the actual cards, if they gave him like a 90 for acceleration or 91 for acceleration, you would still have to boost the sprint speed. If it's at like I would genuinely say that they would have to boost the sprint speed to be at like an 82, right? Like if the acceleration is super high, it doesn't matter because most people are probably going to be giving him a shadow chemistry style anyways, because Guerreiro lacks in physical like crazy, okay? Like crazy. But because this card is formatted the way that it is, guys, you have to take a look at the other stats. So it is a card that can be versatile, right? Because let's take a look at some things here. So the projected thing here is that he could potentially get a 5-star weak foot, which would be a massive deal, guys, because if you actually look at Guerreiro, it's like a fun concept card that's really good, right? Because look, he has a high-low work rate, right? High-low work rate. With this card on really good dribbling stats for base card stats, shooting is really good for a fullback as well, with good passing, good defense, on a shadow chemistry style. If formatted correctly, you can actually rotate this card into the midfield position and be your super attacking oriented midfielder that can actually defend really well for you. Because if they boost the shooting by, you know, like the prediction says, like a +5, that could be crazy. But I do feel like Guerreiro's card could potentially be the most underwhelming one of the bunch, right? For the ones that you actually have selected here. Nuno Mendes, this card, oh, Nuno Mendes is my baby. He's one of my favorite cards for Portugal, or favorite people in Portugal right now. It's him, Ronaldo Sanchez, and Quaresma. Like, those are my 3 babies right now. You guys know on Twitter. I would literally say to Nuno Mendes before he went to like PSG, I was like, this guy, like, he posted a picture one time and I was like, yeah, I'd post a picture like that one time, or I would post a picture like that if I was going to be the next superstar when he was at Sporting, because the kid, like, you can just tell he's an absolute monster, right? What I really like about this card is that he has 93 pace, right? So that has huge potential, because 93 pace, for the way that this card is formatted as well, is really good. Because yes, acceleration is on the lower side. You kind of hope to God that they give him like a 92 for acceleration with a 98 for sprint speed or something crazy like that. Because here's the thing, guys, if you can give him an anchor to boost his physical as much as possible, his defense, while working with good dribbling from the improvement, right? Shooting is non-existent, but the main focus of the card is being a good defensive player. That with a 4-star weak foot and an average body type in the defensive position while giving you PSG and Portuguese links is awesome, okay? All of that on top of the fact that maybe he gets a 4-star weak foot with 5-star skills. That is super, super fun. Listen, man, even if he doesn't have physical, I'm giving him a shadow. He's a monster. You know what I'm saying? Because he'll be really good for the meta of the game. He'll be lacking physical if I have to give him a shadow. But again, depends on how EA actually ends up formatting the pace on the card. Silas, the Danny Aaron's card. We have a player here, which I know that Danny's a fan of him, but they got to do some massive improvements on him. So what I'm actually thinking of, I don't know what it is, okay? But when I'm looking at Silas, do you guys remember the Europa League Bolasie card back in the day? I really hope that in a way they can replicate the Silas card to the Bolasie card. Now it's a little bit different because he is a high medium work rated player, but in that year of FIFA for Bolasie, because he was incredible, especially once he got that one upgrade. If he kept on getting upgrades, that card would have been disgusting. But the medium low work rate to the high medium work rate is not a bad thing, right? But look at the way that the card is formatted dribbling wise, right? Because it's very obvious that you're most likely going to have to give him a finisher chemistry style, but ball control needs to be increased, reactions needs to be increased. What I'm thinking is that they're probably going to format him in a way because of, you know, base card stats or pace being really high probably for him. They're probably going to have to format in a way where I have to give him a marksman chemistry style, and he's still very good on that, right? So I know that Danny Aaron's is a fan of this card, but like they really have to make it in a way where he's formatted like a Bolasie card, because I wasn't really crazy about Silas in, you know, in previous years. Like, it's a cool card, you know, like I like cards that are associated to content creators in a certain way, like Nepenthes with Navas or Nani, Danny Aaron's with Silas, me with Quaresma. It's just kind of like how it works. It's really cool, right? But they definitely need to improve him a lot. It's really cool, though, that as a right mid that plays from the Bundesliga, right? That doesn't give you like the craziest links, let's be honest, right? But he has a 5-star capability, maybe. And that 5-star capability would be an absolutely massive deal for someone that you would probably mainly use in the side positions, right? It's not a card that I see being used in the middle unless you're using him for fun, of course. And, you know, if you're good enough at the game, you can obviously make him work. They definitely need to improve those variables in the card. The dribbling, I do feel like, is the biggest thing, right? Because I feel like the pace can be formatted really nicely. The shooting is kind of strangely formatted as well, because the finishing on a marksman chemistry style is boosting it by a +10. So, you know, a hawk would probably be the most ideal, because look at the way that the shooting is formatted, right? Let's say if you were to give a +10 to every single stat that you see there, that would be in the 90s area, but then you wouldn't touch the dribbling, right? So I'm really curious to see what they'll do with that card if he is actually in the main team. And then last but not least, we have Ruben Vezo. Let's see. He is Ruben Vezo. This guy used to have like a, not an overpowered card, but he used to have a card where he was actually pretty nice to use in the beginning of the year. Yeah. Okay, so this card here, let's see. Okay, there's potential. This card has potential. Yes, this card has potential. Okay, because 1, average body type. 2, base card stats for physical is set up a certain way. So look at this card on a shadow, right? Look at how his pace is set up. So for base card stats right now, he has a 75, right? So if he's projected to get like an 84 and an 83, that means that his pace is going to be usable in the game. I do feel like he's still going to be too slow for the really full meta version of the game, right? With the through balls and the lob passes. But it really depends on how they improve dribbling, because his dribbling is very, very low, right? For the improvements that they could potentially give him. So if you actually look here, you know, just from the projected, right? Because these are predictions, 73 dribbling. So it's still going to be in the lower side. But again, for a player that is Portuguese, that gives you Liga Santander links, there's a variable there to work with, right? And some people will just do this João Felix thing, right? So guys, not every card needs to be like crazy meta, like a Dybala or a Fekir, but I really like each selection that is here, because in their own ways, they can be very good for the meta of the game, right? If they did cards like, I don't know, man, they've added cards in FIFA that just don't even make any sense to even add, because they're just super irrelevant. But every card here is relevant in their own way. So if this is actually the promo on the Friday, I'll actually be really excited to review the cards whenever given the opportunity to. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this concept video. I know you guys like these discussion videos. It's a nice thing to kind of listen to when you guys play the game, chill out, you know, if you're playing your foot champs and stuff. Well, not foot champs, because on the Friday you're going to actually see the team. It's great. I know I've been slacking on this a lot, but I will do my best to make a tier list of the cards that you see here. I'm going to try to review as much of them as I possibly can, because they're probably going to be pretty expensive because they're really good cards. But I will do my best, guys. I will definitely do my best. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.